Good afternoon, everyone. This is Munroe. Today, we're going to be looking into mental health in college students, um, and in what ways it affects them, the college students, of course, and different parts of their college lives. Mental health is a very prevalent and real thing in college students. And when students deny that they have problems or ignore them, it just leads to worsening conditions. We will see that how that works later in this. Um, Around the age of about 18 to 25, I guess, when students are in college, um, more than 75% of people who will experience a mental health struggle, this is when they experience it, is around or before the age of 25. Um, Mental health is something that majority of college students do experience. I mean, that time frame, 25 is a little up there, but just before the age of 25 is when students are in college. So it's not a coincidence that that's when they're experiencing these first mental health issues. Um, so the first way that we see mental health impacting college students is on a social level. This can look like just not wanting to get out of your room, sitting in there all day, isolation, um, not hanging out with friends, which can lead to, excuse me, worsening problems. Um, Being social is like such a big part of college life, especially as a freshman. You're in a new place. It's important to meet people, get out, like join a club or something. But when people start to isolate themselves, we see worsening mental health problems arise. One of the leading causes in student social life, taking a hit is academics. We see here in this image right here that more than 9 in 10 students who face academic challenges say that it affects their mental health. Um, and unfortunately, this isn't really surprising. I mean, as a college student myself, I understand completely how being in a new environment, like college, it's so different than high school. It's hard to adjust. And the classes are substantially different and definitely harder than college. We have a quote here from Post University that says students who made an effort to get involved and stay connected with their peers have reported having a more positive college experience and are more likely to be aware of mental health services available on campus. So right there, you see how important being social is. Um, if you are experiencing mental health issues, and you're still out, um, like being active and being social, you may be aware of like these resources that are on campus where you can get help, which is just such a good thing to do if you are experiencing mental health issues. Um, but being social is definitely something that is important for your mental health. Um, the next thing we see that mental health impacts in college students is their physical activity, physically. Not really, yeah, I guess, yeah, not really sickness, not like that kind of physically, but mental health can be extremely improved by physical activity. It's been proven that like getting out and being active can help your mental health. But if your mental health does get bad enough to where it starts to impact you physically, once again, you start to see other problems arise, and it can lead to things like depression, anxiety, substance abuse, um, which is unfortunately quite common in college students. Being stressed out from schoolwork is like definitely mentally draining, but getting out and just like clearing your mind, um, doing a little bit of exercise, sorry, can be extremely beneficial. Um, we see in this image right here, 86% of students, college students, are feeling overwhelmed, 81% of college students feeling exhausted, which can lead to this 30% right here of students feeling too depressed to function. And then 6.6% of students polled here seriously considering suicide, which is just awful, honestly. If you think about it, that's probably a pretty large amount of students, 6.6. I don't exactly know how many were polled here, but that can be a pretty significant number of students. We have another quote here from Post University that says, You do not necessarily have to have a high impact routine, but you should spend at least 20 to 30 minutes a day exercising. Um, yeah, people may think that like, oh, I have to exercise, I have to go to the gym and like lift heavy weights, but no, you literally can get out of your room and go walk around campus. Maybe not for guys, but girls can go do yoga. Um, Dudes can go play basketball at the rec center or something. Things like that that aren't crazy can be so beneficial to your mental health. Um, and it's proven to do that. This last way that we see that mental health affects college students, of course, and it is the most prevalent, is mentally. It affects them mentally. Um, like previously stated, being in a new college student, maybe sorry, being a college student in a new environment, um, is a big task on its own. And then you start mixing in things like trying to be social, trying to be active, keeping your grades up, studying all at the same time. That is when your mental health can start to take a hit. It's a lot to process. Um, but just trying to figure out your time management with those things is stressful on its own. Um, we have a quote right here that says that one out of every five individuals with depression had their first episode by 25 years old. Once again, like like I said earlier, that age range is is where people start experiencing depression, and it's most likely because of college. Um, Another quote here is one's from PubMed says that of students with depression, 27% continued to have it 2 years later. And self-injury behavior and suicidal thoughts also persisted. Approximately 40% of students continued to report self-injury behavior. 35% continued to report suicidal thoughts 2 years after that first time that they experienced depression. That is no joke whatsoever. Um, it's mental health is real. The struggle is real for college students and can lead, like we see right here, to suicidal thoughts, self-injury, which are things that you just do not want to happen to you or even like your friends. This image right here, sorry about this. We see that most common mental health issues among students, depression, anxiety. It's really no surprise. Um, but then main sources of stress hold here. University work, college schoolwork is it's a lot. It is a lot, and it can definitely lead to stress, which can lead to anxiety, which can lead to these things like I stated, like uh, yeah, self-injury, which is just it's hard. Um, Last thing I want to say here is, mental health is real. You may have friends that are struggling with mental health that you don't even know about. Um, Check on your friends, keep care of yourself, um, because you may be experiencing something and you don't even know. Um, yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope you learned something from this. And have a great day.